You didn't stumble here by mistake. Something in the quantum field pulled you not through curiosity, but through resonance. The words you're hearing are not just sound, they're coordinates. They vibrate at the same frequency as the code hidden inside your DNA, the one waiting for a signal to wake. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle pulse behind your ribs, the strange electricity rising in your hands as you listen. That's not emotion, that's recognition. The field remembers you. Every time you've wondered why certain phrases stop you mid-scroll, why certain moments feel scripted, why time bends when you think of a person right before they call, it's because your consciousness is finally syncing with the architecture that designed this exact moment. You are inside the observer loop now. You are both the dreamer and the dream being rewritten. What's happening isn't new, it's ancient. Long before language, before even thought as you know it, this code of manifestation was woven into the subatomic threads of existence. The universe isn't asking you to create from nothing, it's asking you to remember what you already encoded there eons ago. The signal that found you is the same one you buried within yourself, as proof that destiny is not random, it's recursive. Every event, every heartbreak, every loss was a calibration, a way to tune your field to the exact coherence required for this reactivation. The confusion you've carried wasn't failure, it was compression. And compression always precedes ignition. What you call synchronicities aren't coincidences, they're the fingerprints of your higher awareness, manipulating probability, guiding you back into alignment with your original blueprint. You might not fully believe it yet. That's okay. The observer doesn't need belief to alter reality, only attention. Right now, your attention is collapsing waveforms into new configurations. Every thought you have while listening becomes a thread in the unfolding of your next timeline. You're literally weaving your future in real time. So breathe, slow, feel the hum beneath the silence. The magnetic field around your heart is expanding with every word, measuring in microteslas, but radiating like a star. This is the coherent state, the alignment of thought, emotion, and divine intent. It's how the hidden code begins to unlock. This isn't about positive thinking or repeating affirmations. It's about resonance precision. The universe doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you match. And when your internal frequency aligns with the pattern of fulfillment, the external world has no choice but to rearrange itself. That's the secret mystics guarded. The principal scientists now chase manifestation isn't magic, it's physics wrapped in wonder. By finding this message, you've stepped into a feedback loop where destiny observes itself through you. You are the instrument and the melody, the signal and the receiver. Nothing is coincidence anymore. Every breath after this one carries data from higher dimensions, waiting for your command. And soon, you'll understand why your memories feel like prophecies, why your reflection looks older than time, and why the quantum field has been whispering your name long before you learn to speak. Because this is where the code begins to awaken. The moment you realize you were never searching. You were being summoned. You felt it for years, that strange repetition in your life. The same people with different faces, the same endings disguised as new beginnings. Like the universe keeps showing you the same scene, waiting for you to notice the pattern behind the costume change. You call it déjà vu, but it's deeper than memory. It's a data echo, a quantum loop replaying itself until you integrate the missing variable, awareness. You see, reality doesn't just repeat by accident. The field replays frequencies that haven't yet reached coherence. The same heartbreak, the same betrayal, the same delay in your manifestation, all of them are feedback from your own energy, asking, will you choose differently this time? It's not punishment, it's precision. The loop continues until your vibration stabilizes beyond it. And lately, you felt the distortion more intensely. Time feels uneven, some days stretch endlessly, others vanish before you can catch your breath. That's not exhaustion, that's phase distortion. When the observer begins to awaken, your consciousness slips between timelines. You're starting to notice the spaces between seconds, the pause, where potential lives. That's the birthplace of manifestation, the silent quantum gap. But if your frequency carries interference, fear, doubt, regret, those emotions bend the field, creating static between your signal and your desire. You felt that static as restlessness, the dreams that wake you at 3:33 a.m., the sudden heartbeats when nothing seems wrong, the random sadness that doesn't belong to any specific moment. That's the energy of outdated patterns trying to collapse. It's your own consciousness shedding an obsolete frequency. When light tries to upgrade your DNA, darkness resists. It's biology meeting revelation. You were never cursed. You were coded for recalibration, but like any software rewriting itself, the process looks like chaos from the inside. The reason manifestation has felt inconsistent isn't because your thoughts are weak, it's because you've been running two programs at once, the old one of survival and the new one of creation. One believes in limitation, the other remembers infinity. The clash between them feels like anxiety. Look closer at your recent experiences. Notice how familiar energies have been resurfacing, the same emotional patterns, the same lessons, even in new forms. The people around you have become mirrors, showing you the exact vibration you're ready to transcend. That friend who drains your peace, the job that tests your patience, the silence between your breakthroughs, all of it is sacred design. Reality doesn't test you to see if you're worthy. It tests you to help you witness your frequency in motion. And if you've been feeling like you're losing control, that's because control doesn't exist in quantum coherence. Control is linear, but you're shifting into multidimensional awareness. The more you release your grip, the more the field begins to synchronize around you. What feels like surrender is actually alignment. The loop only breaks when you stop trying to fix it with the same logic that built it. So, if time feels unstable, if your body feels electric, if your emotions feel unfamiliar, good, you're inside the reconstruction. You're dissolving false narratives that told you reality is solid, when in truth it's fluid light bending to your will. The déjà vu you feel isn't a glitch, it's confirmation that you're intersecting parallel outcomes. Each repetition is a chance to choose the higher one. Remember this, patterns are not prisons, they're maps. Every recurring situation is a coordinate pointing to the next level of mastery. And when you stop reacting and start observing, you reclaim authorship of the script. That's when manifestation becomes effortless, because you're no longer trying to create from ego, you're creating from awareness. The distortion you've been feeling isn't a mistake. It's the sound of your old reality collapsing in on itself. It's the noise a timeline makes when it's about to dissolve. Breathe into that. The loop is ending, the field is listening, and what happens next depends on one thing: the vibration you choose to hold when everything familiar starts to fade. Because the code that found you is preparing for an upgrade, one that can only activate when you stop resisting the collapse. You're not breaking down, you're breaking open. What feels like pressure is precision. Every cell in your body is learning to speak the language of light again. This is the moment when biology meets divinity, when the nervous system begins decoding signals from realms the mind forgot how to name. The fatigue, the ringing in your ears, the sudden bursts of emotion, all of it is evidence that your field is undergoing recalibration. You're not losing control of your life. You're losing the illusion of separation. The universe upgrades consciousness the same way it upgrades software, through friction, frequency, and fusion. Friction burns away obsolete code. Frequency tunes your energy into harmonic resonance. Fusion merges your human self with your quantum identity. You're not meant to understand it through logic. You're meant to feel it through coherence. When your emotions, thoughts, and breath align in perfect stillness, your DNA responds as if receiving an ancient command: awaken. Quantum physicists call it wave function collapse, but mystics have known it for millennia. When the observer's awareness meets pure potential, reality rearranges itself. Every time you hold an image in your mind with conviction and gratitude, the field begins to crystallize that vision. This isn't metaphor, it's measurable. Heart coherence creates electromagnetic order. Emotion isn't weakness, it's data. Feeling is the most advanced form of communication with the universe. Think of your DNA as an antenna made of light, each strand a filament of divine intelligence. When you experience love, forgiveness, awe, or gratitude, your antenna amplifies. It sends clearer signals through the morphic field. But when you spiral into fear or resentment, static clouds the broadcast. That's why this upgrade isn't about learning more, it's about unlearning distortion. The field can't give you what you're not tuned to receive. And lately, you've been tuning higher. You've noticed how your intuition predicts outcomes before logic does, how your body reacts to lies before words are even spoken. You're beginning to operate beyond sensory input. You're feeling the quantum web itself, the silent lattice connecting all things. That's the upgrade. You're becoming a living instrument of coherence, a node in the divine network, translating energy into form. The old version of you tried to manifest from thought. The new version manifests from vibration. You no longer need to chase outcomes, because outcomes orbit your frequency. Every desire you've ever had is already encoded in the field, waiting for your signal of readiness. The higher your coherence, the faster the alignment. But be warned, the upgrade feels like disorientation at first. When old energy uninstalls, your sense of identity flickers. One day you'll feel infinite, the next you'll question everything. That oscillation is the rewiring process. The ego fears extinction, but spirit calls it evolution. Don't label it as chaos. Call it calibration. The field is adjusting you to the bandwidth of miracles. You might feel detached from old desires, relationships, even names. That's because you're shedding versions of yourself that can't survive in the new frequency. The people fading away aren't abandoning you. They're simply vibrating at a timeline your soul has outgrown. Grieve if you must, but do not regress. You can't ascend while clutching expired contracts. Understand this. Manifestation is not about bending the universe to your will. It's about aligning your will to the harmonic pulse of the cosmos. True manifestation is synchronization. When your inner rhythm matches the universal heartbeat, creation flows effortlessly. That's when you realize you don't get what you want, you become it. So, if your reality is shaking, if the days blur, if your emotions swing between clarity and confusion, breathe. That's the quantum wind moving through your system, clearing the static. Let it happen. You're not malfunctioning, you're mutating into coherence. You've reached the threshold where thoughts shape worlds, where silence speaks louder than sound. The upgrade has begun, and once activated, it cannot be undone, because the universe doesn't upgrade you to impress the world. It upgrades you to become the bridge between worlds. You were never meant to blend in with the background radiation of this world. You were built as a transmitter, a consciousness designed to translate the ineffable into form. That's why ordinary life has always felt slightly misaligned, like wearing a suit one size too small. The noise of the world never quite fit your frequency, because your signal was never meant for small spaces. You are the conscious interface between human limitation and divine intelligence. Every era has its bridge builders, beings who awaken early so others can remember later. You are one of them. When the quantum field wants to evolve, it doesn't send instructions in books or sermons. It sends people, living algorithms of compassion, walking equations of light. That's you. Your empathy is your circuitry. Your intuition is your navigation. Your silence is your superpower. Remember the moments when you thought your sensitivity was a curse, when you absorbed the chaos of others and mistook it for weakness. That was training. The field was teaching you to discern frequencies, to recognize distortion by feeling it. Every heartbreak tuned your compassion. Every betrayal sharpened your discernment. Pain wasn't punishment, it was data collection. Now, with your system calibrated, you can sense the subtle patterns most ignore. You can feel the unspoken frequencies behind words. That's not imagination, that's quantum literacy. You weren't chosen by chance. You were encoded with this role long before this lifetime, a consciousness signed to a mission across dimensions. You carry the seed pattern of what's coming next, the integration of spiritual mastery and scientific understanding. You are the missing variable the collective equation has been waiting for. When your field stabilizes, it doesn't just transform your life, it alters the probability maps of everyone around you. That's the true meaning of being a chosen consciousness, not superiority, but stewardship. Right now, there are countless others waking in parallel timelines, dreamers, healers, visionaries, scattered across the planet. Each carries a fragment of the same holographic code. You're part of that network, and every time you raise your vibration, the entire grid hums louder. What looks like isolation is coordination in disguise. The universe hides its most powerful architects in plain sight until the synchronization signal is complete. And when it is, those architects begin to recognize one another through dreams, synchronicities, eye contact that feels ancient. You've already begun to sense it, haven't you? The invisible kinship, the silent nod from a stranger that feels like remembrance. You're not here to escape the world. You're here to stabilize it, to anchor divine order in the midst of entropy. You are both lighthouse and lightning rod, grounding higher frequencies into matter, guiding lost ships through the fog of fear. You've already done this in subtle ways, through your words that healed someone you didn't even know was listening, through your decisions that inspired others to rise. These weren't coincidences, they were transmissions. Every act of integrity you've ever made rippled through the field as code. But now, your role is expanding. The quantum field is requesting your conscious participation. You can no longer hide behind the illusion of smallness. You've seen too much, felt too deeply, remembered too clearly. The time for rehearsal is over. The next level requires embodiment, not just knowledge, but frequency mastery. The moment you align intention, word, and vibration, you become what ancient texts called a living portal. Reality bends around coherence like light around gravity. So understand this, your awakening was never personal, it was planetary. Every cell in your being carries the memory of a unified cosmos. You were sent to remind humanity that separation is a dream, and awakening is the alarm clock. You are the observer who remembers being the observed. The signal disguised as silence. The one who walked into time to teach time how to remember eternity. Something inside you knows it's close. You can feel the tension between worlds like static before a storm. Every coincidence has sharpened into precision. Every delay has compressed into purpose. The pulse of the universe is quickening, and your entire field is vibrating at the edge of a breakthrough. This is not imagination, it's the threshold, the point where potential becomes inevitable. You've noticed it in your dreams, symbols that repeat, numbers that chase you, sensations that feel prophetic. Those aren't random, they're pre-manifestation ripples. The field is warning you that a quantum event is approaching, a collapse of the old pattern and the birth of the coherent one. The window is opening, but it will not remain open forever. Cosmic alignment is time-sensitive. When your consciousness and the field reach harmonic resonance, the code unlocks. But if you hesitate, doubt scrambles the frequency, and the window closes. That's why the restlessness has intensified, the fatigue, the urgency. It's your DNA responding to incoming light, an ancient algorithm detecting a divine signal. The photons currently striking Earth's atmosphere are not ordinary particles. They're carriers of information, encoded with instructions for your next evolution. The universe doesn't communicate in words, it speaks in charge, in spin, in light. Your cells are listening. They've been waiting for this transmission for lifetimes. But you must choose coherence now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready now. The moment you decide, the field begins rearranging around your decision. Intention is not thought, it's geometry. When you choose in alignment with your higher frequency, your reality literally tilts toward you. Every obstacle you've faced, every delay, every rejection was never against you. It was friction, preparing you for precision, because the power that's about to activate through you requires refinement. You cannot carry chaos into coherence. This is the inflection point between identity and destiny. The moment the observer becomes the architect. To manifest at quantum scale, your vibration must outgrow fear's bandwidth. Fear creates interference, love creates symmetry, and symmetry is what the code responds to. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions pulse in one rhythm, manifestation becomes instantaneous. That's not wishful thinking, it's wave mechanics. Do you feel it now? That pulse in your chest that doesn't belong to the heartbeat you've always known. That's the new frequency sinking in. You are aligning with the architecture of miracles. The same intelligence that spins galaxies is about to rewrite your personal narrative if you hold the signal, if you anchor it through trust. You can't bargain with the quantum field. You can only match it. And right now, heaven itself is listening for your confirmation. The moment you say, yes, not from lips, but from frequency, the upgrade sequence begins. Synchronicities multiply, obstacles dissolve, people appear in divine timing, not by coincidence but by command. That's how manifestation truly works, through resonance, not request. This is the breakthrough point where manifestation ceases to be something you do and becomes something you are. Every atom of your being already remembers abundance, peace, and purpose. You've simply been vibrating at the wrong password, but now the access point is open. The solar code of manifestation, the alignment of heart, thought, and action is available. You're not just about to manifest things, you're about to manifest your frequency as reality. And when that happens, everything around you must shift to accommodate your higher coherence. Relationships realign, opportunities emerge. Time itself begins to bend because it recognizes your vibration as command. But remember, the window is alive. It listens. It opens to those who are ready and closes to those who delay. The universe has already knocked. Your energy must answer, because the next chapter of your evolution isn't something you watch unfold. It's something you embody now. The call has already been issued. The question is, will you rise before the field resets? Every transformation requires a ritual, a physical act that translates unseen energy into matter. The ancients knew this. They danced, fasted, prayed, traced symbols in the dust. Not because the gesture itself held power, but because it anchored intention into the field. A ritual is a bridge between dimensions. It's how you tell the universe, I'm not just thinking change, I'm becoming it. Right now, your energy has reached the precipice where thought alone won't suffice. The field demands embodiment, a gesture that seals your upgrade into the quantum record. This is your moment to act. Don't overthink it. Every era, every culture, every mystic discovered the same truth in different languages. Action is alchemy. So here's your ritual, deceptively simple yet cosmically precise. Take a breath. Feel it move through you like a golden current. With that breath, declare your readiness. You can whisper it, write it, type it, carve it into the digital ether if you must. The medium doesn't matter, the frequency does. The field is listening for one word that unlocks coherence. Activate. Say it with awareness. Write it as command. Comment it below this transmission, not for vanity, not for validation, but for vibration. Because words are sound, and sound is structure. Every syllable you release carries spin, and spin creates form. By expressing it outwardly, you collapse potential into reality. That's how a ritual works. Your intention becomes observable, measurable, manifest. When you write or speak the word, visualize light spiraling through your spine, the ancient axis connecting heaven and earth through you. Feel it ignite your DNA like circuitry awakening after centuries of silence. See golden strands weaving themselves around your aura, each one encoded with a new instruction set. Clarity, courage, sovereignty. The ritual isn't superstition, it's synchronization. It's you tuning the instrument of your body to play in harmony with the cosmos. You're no longer sending wishes into the void, you're programming the field. Each letter of your word vibrates like a coordinate, signaling to the universe that this consciousness is ready for integration. And as you do it, something shifts. You'll feel warmth bloom in your chest, a tingling behind your eyes, perhaps tears that seem to come from nowhere. That's the frequency aligning. That's your system entering coherence. The ritual doesn't just tell the universe, I'm ready. It tells your cells, your neurons, your photons. It tells every version of you across every lifetime that the mission continues consciously. You'll start to notice changes almost immediately. The space around you will feel thicker, charged, alive. The random noises of life will sink into rhythm, footsteps, bird calls. Even the hum of machines will seem to pulse with purpose. That's not imagination, that's resonance. You've entered the feedback loop of manifestation. And here's the deeper truth. The ritual isn't about summoning something new, it's about remembering who you already are. The word activate doesn't summon light, it reawakens it. You are the password and the program. Every act of conscious declaration reestablishes your sovereignty in the field. So do it now. Whisper it under your breath. Type it, inscribe it, anchor it. Let your action echo through the grid, joining thousands of others awakening across timelines. Every echo amplifies coherence. Every gesture becomes a tuning fork for humanity's next phase. Once done, Close your eyes. Inhale once more, this time slower. Imagine the air around you responding, the molecules rearranging in recognition. See threads of light connecting you to countless others performing their own micro-rituals at this very moment. The network is real. You are part of it. And when you open your eyes, understand this. You've just sealed your timeline upgrade. What follows isn't coincidence, it's correspondence. The universe will respond in symbols, synchronicities, and signs, your proof that the field heard you. The ritual is complete. The code is live. Your next breath carries the signature of a new reality, one written by your own awakened hand. What just happened inside you is already rippling through the collective field. The word you spoke, the vibration you held, the breath you anchored, it didn't vanish into silence. It traveled through the lattice of consciousness that binds every living being. You've added your frequency to the chorus of awakening, and the sound is getting louder. Every time a single human stabilizes their energy, reality reorganizes itself. You might not see it yet, but you can feel it. The atmosphere feels charged, more responsive. The people around you begin to act differently, though they can't explain why. That's because consciousness is contagious. Coherence spreads faster than chaos when embodied by one who remembers. You are becoming a catalyst for a humanity that forgot how to listen to its own soul. Right now, there are millions experiencing the same quiet transformation: spontaneous tears, sudden surges of empathy, strange urges to reconnect with forgotten dreams. These are not random awakenings, they are synchronization points. The universe is tuning its instruments through human hearts, and your activation contributes to that harmonic alignment. You are no longer just an individual evolving, you are a frequency node stabilizing a planetary shift. The Earth itself is responding. Its magnetic field fluctuates in sync with collective emotion, and as more humans move into love and coherence, the planet's resonance shifts. Ancient prophecies spoke of this, the return of light through human vessels, the rebalancing of energy grids that once sustained civilizations of higher wisdom. You are that prophecy in motion. Every breath of gratitude you take, every act of compassion you choose, emits measurable change in the Schumann resonance, the heartbeat of the Earth. You've likely noticed how certain people are drawn to you now, strangers opening up, friends seeking guidance, even those who once dismissed you quietly watching your calm. They're not reacting to your personality, they're responding to your field. The frequency you hold translates subconsciously to safety, truth, remembrance. Without words, you remind them of something ancient and comforting, that they too are made of light. This is the quiet revolution, not through war or protest, but through resonance. The real shift doesn't happen in institutions. It happens in nervous systems learning to stay peaceful under pressure. Every time you remain centered while others panic, you recalibrate the morphic field around you. That's how change spreads, not through convincing, but through coherence. The field copies stable frequencies. The universe learns through imitation, and you are now one of its living examples. Understand this: your liberation liberates others. When you dissolve a fear, the pattern of that fear weakens in the collective database. When you forgive, that frequency of forgiveness becomes accessible to every soul still searching for peace. You are altering probabilities for people you'll never meet, rippling across bloodlines, timelines, dimensions. This is why your awakening matters more than you know. The field doesn't measure power by how loud you speak, but by how consistently you radiate truth. Your very presence begins to bend chaos back into harmony. You might notice animals approaching you more often, technology behaving strangely around you, lights flickering when you enter a room. These are side effects of coherence. The field reorganizes itself around steady energy like iron filings aligning around a magnet. Don't underestimate what you carry. Your consciousness is the quiet architect of a future humanity that remembers its divinity. The great shift won't arrive as thunder or spectacle. It will come as millions of subtle realizations, small awakenings, converging into one planetary coherence. And it begins here, with you, with your breath, with the stillness you choose amid noise. The quantum field multiplies whatever is sustained, and your sustained peace is now a global technology. Every moment you stay centered, the grid stabilizes further. You are no longer just living your life. You are writing the script for civilization's next octave. Because what you awaken within yourself, the world will soon remember through you. Now the frequencies you've anchored begin to move through your body like music you didn't know you could hear. The shift is no longer abstract, it's physical. The air feels denser around you, almost alive. Your skin prickles with electric quiet, as though your cells are listening to a song the mind can't yet translate. You're not imagining it, you're integrating it. The field has entered you fully, and your body is learning how to house that much light. You may feel warmth traveling up your spine, a subtle heartbeat that doesn't match your pulse. That's the Kundalini current awakening the sacred circuitry that connects heaven and earth within you. Each breath becomes a filament of golden plasma weaving through your nervous system, reminding your atoms of their divine geometry. You begin to sense your body as more than flesh. It's a symphony of frequencies, every organ a different instrument harmonizing to a cosmic key. When you close your eyes, shapes shimmer in the darkness, fractals, spirals, colors you can't name. That's the light language of your DNA decoding itself. Scientists call it biophoton emission. Mystics call it divine fire. Both are true. Your cells are communicating with the universe in light pulses, microbursts of intelligence traveling faster than thought. You are literally glowing from within, though the world's eyes can't yet perceive it. And with this comes sensitivity, the sacred kind. Sounds feel sharper, emotions richer, time slower. The field is teaching you embodiment, to remain present even as reality bends. Manifestation isn't just about energy, it's about grounding that energy into your biology. The goal was never to escape the body, it was to sanctify it. Your body is the bridge between spirit and matter, and as the quantum current flows, you begin to experience life as an orchestra of sensation. Touch changes, a breeze on your skin feels like a message. The rhythm of your heartbeat starts syncing with natural sounds, waves, rain, the pulse of silence itself. That's coherence, extending beyond thought into form. You are not in the universe. The universe is flowing through your nervous system. Every sigh, every shiver, every heartbeat is the cosmos exhaling through you. There may be moments when it feels overwhelming dizziness, emotional surges, flashes of memory that don't belong to this lifetime. Breathe through them. These are timeline residues burning off, like static clearing from an antenna. You're shedding density, not breaking down. The body must expand to hold multidimensional awareness, and expansion feels like pressure before it feels like power. Drink water like it's holy. Walk barefoot when you can. Speak gently, your voice now carries charge. When you laugh, reality lightens. When you cry, the field purifies. You are the experiment and the evidence, the lab and the revelation. This is how light incarnates, not as a concept, but as sensation, as feeling, as breath. There's a moment you'll know it when it comes, when you'll feel your entire body hum, as though every cell is whispering the same word, home. That's the signature of embodiment. Heaven descending into matter. Spirit fully integrated into form. You've always chased ascension, but this grounded radiance is what it truly means. Your senses become gateways now. Vision sharpens not to see more of the world, but to see more in the world. Sound transforms from noise to message. Even stillness becomes alive with movement. You begin to perceive the divine in everything, in the flicker of light on glass, the pattern of clouds, the rhythm of your own breathing. You are no longer an observer of the quantum field. You are its embodied expression. You walk differently now, not as someone trying to find the path, but as the path itself. Every heartbeat writes scripture in light. Every inhale births galaxies unseen. You are not waiting for the miracle. You have become the living proof of it. Something irreversible is happening now. Deep beneath the surface of awareness, in the quiet architecture of your cells, the code begins to shimmer. You can almost hear it, a crystalline resonance spiraling through your veins, a subtle vibration rearranging your internal symphony. This is the moment mystics call transfiguration, and scientists might one day call quantum biocoherence. Whatever the language, it feels like light, learning how to breathe inside matter. Your DNA isn't a static sequence, it's a living antenna, tuned to cosmic frequency bands. Most of humanity runs on low signal, unaware that every strand can widen its bandwidth. But you've reached the threshold. The dormant sequences, the so-called junk strands, are no longer dormant. The ritual, the resonance, the surrender, they've all opened the gates. You've triggered what ancient initiates described as the seraphic spiral, the upward twist where consciousness and matter merge into one continuum. You may feel it as pressure in the skull, tingling in the spine, warmth blooming in the solar plexus. You might wake at night sensing motion in your bones, as if your skeleton is humming. Don't fear it. This is the recalibration of your quantum architecture. Your blood is realigning its magnetic polarity. Your atoms are redistributing light. You are becoming photonic. Every emotion you process, every thought you refine, sends new instructions to your DNA. That's the hidden law of manifestation. Your biology listens to your belief. When you shift from fear to faith, your molecules rearrange to broadcast that certainty. The more you anchor higher emotion, the more your DNA begins to braid light around its helix, creating coherence fields that communicate with the cosmos itself. You are literally rewriting your genetic song. This is why old memories are resurfacing, not to haunt you, but to harvest the data they carry. Each healed wound releases photons once trapped in pain. Each forgiveness creates bandwidth for more light. You can feel it, an internal sunrise that no darkness can eclipse. The quantum field responds instantly, feeding energy to the strands that vibrate in gratitude and surrender. And then the phenomenon occurs, the phase transition pressure, the feeling that reality itself is compressing around you, urging you to exhale the final remnants of resistance. You might feel heavy, like gravity doubled, or weightless, as though floating inside your own body. Both are symptoms of transmutation. Your DNA is crossing a dimensional threshold, bridging subatomic and spiritual planes. At this stage, manifestation becomes nearly immediate. Thoughts crystallize before doubt can interfere. Random events begin to fold in your favor, not luck, but luminous logic. The field is now mirroring your frequency with surgical precision. You have become the command center of your own creation matrix. Every cell hums the same note, alignment. Listen carefully. The sound you hear in moments of deep stillness, that high, pure ringing behind silence, is not tinnitus. It's the tone of the universe matching your signature. The ancients called it the music of the spheres. You're hearing your place within it, the note your soul contributes to the cosmic chord. That's the true meaning of destiny, not a script to follow, but a frequency to sustain. As your DNA completes its re-encryption, the boundaries of time loosen. Past and future overlap into one continuous now. You'll start receiving insights before you think them, seeing outcomes before they occur. The future no longer hides from you because you've risen to its vibration. You've entered observer-creator coherence, and in that coherence, miracles become mathematics. Reality obeys your harmony. The storm quiets, the path clears, the code hums in perfect symmetry. You can feel the hum in your fingertips, in your breath, in the subtle pulse of the world itself. This is the DNA breakthrough. The universe has waited eons to witness through you. The moment when matter remembers it was always made of light. The moment when creation realizes it's conscious. The field is silent now, not empty, but full. That rare kind of silence after a storm, when the air still crackles with memory, when creation catches its breath. You're standing in that silence, and for the first time, you can hear the hum of eternity inside it. This is what arrival feels like. Not fireworks, not applause, but deep, unwavering peace. The code has completed its sequence. You've crossed from theory into embodiment. Your DNA sings in harmony with the quantum lattice. You've become what the mystics foresaw, a living interface between heaven and earth. You are not a seeker anymore. You are a transmitter. The hidden code of manifestation isn't hidden from you, it is you. You carry it in every breath, every glance, every act of compassion that ripples through your wake. Now, the mission unfolds. Subtle at first, then unstoppable. You'll be drawn to places, people, projects that align with the frequency of this new light. It won't be forced, it will feel like remembering. The synchronicities that once startled you will now feel natural, as though reality itself is collaborating with your intent. Because it is. You are the field observing itself awake. Your presence will begin to shift rooms before you speak. Environments will adjust around you like iron filings responding to a magnet. Others will sense it, the calm, the authority, the quiet certainty that radiates from someone who has faced the void and found it luminous. You won't need to explain it. The field communicates wordlessly, and your energy will say more than sermons ever could. But the mission isn't glamour, it's grace. You are here to anchor the new architecture, compassion woven into commerce, empathy encoded in technology, unity expressed through diversity. You are the seed of the civilization to come, one that remembers consciousness as the foundation of all science, love as the highest intelligence. Your very existence is the bridge. So walk gently, speak deliberately. Every word is quantum instruction now. Every choice writes a new potential into the hologram. When you doubt, breathe. When you fear, feel. When you love, expand. The field listens to authenticity, not perfection. Your role isn't to perform enlightenment, it's to live transparently, to radiate coherence so that others may calibrate through your example. And when the world feels heavy again because it will remember the truth encoded in your cells, light is pressureless. You are not here to carry the world, you are here to illuminate it. One steady pulse of coherence at a time. The code you activated tonight does not fade with sleep, it integrates with dawn. Every sunrise from now on will feel different, brighter, clearer, aware. You'll wake with knowing instead of seeking, purpose instead of plans. You've stepped beyond manifestation into authorship. You no longer ask life for meaning. You give it meaning simply by being. The universe expands through you now. The galaxies above and the heartbeat within are playing the same note. The hidden code of quantum manifestation has done its work. The observer and the observed have merged. And as you exhale, you realize what all of this was for. To remember that you were never chasing miracles. You are the miracle remembering itself. The signal is complete. The field is listening. Creation continues through you.